Every paycheck disappears before you know it. Bills, debt, and stress control your life, but it doesn't have to be this way. Imagine waking up free from fear, in control of your money, and finally living on your terms. This is the moment to break the chains and reclaim your future. Book, Break the Money Chains, author, Leo Whitman, audiobook by ReadRealm. Introduction. The moment everything changes. Most breakthroughs don't arrive with fireworks. They happen quietly. Often in the middle of an ordinary day, when something inside you finally refuses to settle anymore. Maybe it was a bill you couldn't pay, a paycheck that vanished in 2 days, or just the exhaustion of pretending everything was fine. For me, it was a moment so small that no one else would have noticed. Yet it split my life into a before and an after. I was sitting at my kitchen table, staring at numbers that never seemed to change. I wasn't unintelligent. I wasn't irresponsible, but I was stuck, month after month. I felt like I was running a race designed for me to lose. And in that moment, I realized something that would shape the rest of my life. The struggle wasn't because I was broken. It was because the system I was following was broken. Most people grow up believing that stress is just part of adulthood. Debt is normal. Living paycheck to paycheck is normal. Feeling behind is normal. We inherit these beliefs the same way we inherit our last names, quietly and without questioning them. And because everyone lives this way, we convince ourselves it's acceptable. But normal isn't working. Normal is drowning. Normal is pretending. Normal is surviving, not living. The truth is simple, even if it's uncomfortable. People don't stay broke because they're not smart. They stay broke because their habits keep them there. Money troubles are rarely mathematical. They're behavioral, emotional, cultural, passed down like a family tradition no one remembers agreeing to. And yet, the moment you understand that your habits, not your intelligence, shape your financial life, something powerful happens. You stop seeing yourself as a victim of circumstances and start seeing yourself as the architect of change. This book is your invitation to step into that transformation, not by wishing, not by hoping, but by committing to a process that has rebuilt thousands of lives, from chaos to clarity, from stress to stability, from fear to freedom. You may not realize it yet, but turning this page is the beginning of a new identity, one where money stops controlling you. One where you break the chains that held you back for years you can't get back. Your moment of change doesn't start with noise. It starts right here. With a decision, you can break the chains. But first, you must choose a new way to think. Chapter 1. Debt, the Silent Thief. If you really want to understand debt, don't look at the numbers. Look at the feelings. Look at the tightness in your chest when a payment reminder pops up. Look at the stress that hits you before you even check your balance. Look at that sinking thought you've had more than once. I work hard. Why does it still feel like I'm falling behind? Debt doesn't announce itself with loud alarms. It doesn't show up wearing a villain's mask. It slips into your life quietly, politely, disguised as convenience, rewards points, easy monthly installments, or limited time financing. And before you realize what happened, it's taken roots in your daily decisions, your future plans, and even your sense of security. We live in a culture that celebrates borrowing like it's a rite of passage. You're told you need a credit card to build credit. You're told it's normal to have car payments, student loans, store cards, buy now, pay later agreements, and a mortgage that stretches farther than your imagination. Every commercial, every bank offer, every shiny promotion whispers the same message. Borrowing is how adults live. But that culture doesn't care about your financial peace. It cares about your payments. Debt doesn't just take money. It steals your present. When a chunk of your paycheck already belongs to someone else, you're never truly working for yourself. You're working for the bank, the lender, the credit company, and the tragic truth is that millions of people spend their entire adult lives giving away tomorrow's income to pay for yesterday's decisions. And then there's the credit score myth, one of the most clever illusions ever created. People brag about how high their score is, as if it represents wealth. But a credit score is not a measure of your financial strength. It's a measure of how well you've played the debt game. You get points for borrowing, points for keeping accounts open, points for paying interest on time. Not wealth, not savings, not freedom. Just how predictable you are as a long-term customer of debt. That's why lenders love your credit score. They designed it to keep you loyal. You're rewarded for staying in the system. But imagine for a moment the difference between the good life you see marketed to you. A life filled with financed furniture, leased cars, maxed out credit cards. And the real good life. A life where your income is yours. A life where your money builds your future instead of patching your past. A life where you can breathe. Debt pretends to offer you more, but it leaves you with less. Less peace, less flexibility, less freedom. It's a trade far too many people make without realizing they're signing away decades of their life. Here's the truth most people never hear. Debt isn't a tool. It's a trap, a quiet one, a socially accepted one, but a trap nonetheless, designed to keep you working for everyone except yourself. And now that you see the thief for what it is, you can start the work of taking your life back. Chapter 2. Breaking the Mask of Denial. Most people don't realize how much energy they spend avoiding the truth. Not fixing, avoiding. They avoid checking their bank balance until the moment they absolutely must. They stack unopened bills on the counter and tell themselves they'll get to them later. They convince themselves that things aren't that bad, even when their stomach drops every time they swipe a card. Denial doesn't show up as defiance. It shows up as delay. It shows up as "I'll deal with it tomorrow." It shows up as pretending that stress is normal. If you've ever hesitated before opening a financial notification, not because you didn't know the number, but because you didn't want the number to confirm what you feared, you've met denial firsthand, and you're not alone. People don't avoid money because they're irresponsible. They avoid it because confronting the truth feels like confronting failure. But here's the twist. The longer you hide from the truth, the more power it gains over you. Avoidance creates a fog that blocks progress. When you don't know exactly where you stand, your decisions become guesses, your habits become reactive, and your future becomes something you drift into, not something you design. Growth demands clarity, and clarity demands courage. Denial whispers comforting lies. You're just going through a phase. This is how everyone lives. You'll figure it out eventually. But denial doesn't protect you. It traps you. It keeps you repeating the same patterns, month after month, year after year. When you don't see the full picture, you can't change the picture. And one of the most powerful steps in any transformation story, financial or otherwise, is the moment you stop looking away. Facing your money with honesty isn't about shame. It's about freedom. It's about finally stepping into the driver's seat instead of pretending the car is steering itself. When you sit down, open your accounts, list your debts, and look at the real numbers, something shifts inside you. You stop running, you stop guessing, you stop pretending, and for the first time, you see the path forward. This chapter isn't asking you to be perfect. It's asking you to be truthful. Brutal honesty is uncomfortable, but it's also liberating. Once you shine light on the dark corners of your finances, the monsters shrink, the fear softens, the anxiety loosens its grip. You can't change what you refuse to face. Transformation always begins with clarity, painful clarity if necessary. But on the other side of that, honesty is something far more powerful than denial ever offered: control. Chapter 3. Money lies that keep you broke. Every financial breakthrough begins with a moment of unsettling clarity. The moment you realize that the ideas you trusted, the advice you followed, and the normal money habits everyone around you practices might all be lies. Not intentional lies, but inherited ones, cultural ones, lies wrapped in tradition, convenience, and marketing so convincing that millions never question it. If you want freedom, you must first understand this simple truth. You can be sincere and still be wrong. People don't stay broke because they lack discipline. They stay broke because they've been trained to believe the wrong things about money. And those beliefs feel so familiar, so widely accepted, that they seem like facts. Let's break them. One by one. Myth: you need debt to build wealth. This is one of the most destructive money lies ever sold. People are told that debt is a lever, a tool, a strategy. But here's what no one mentions. Every dollar of debt is a future hour of your life, already spoken for. Debt doesn't speed you up. It slows you down. It divides your paycheck before you even earn it. Wealth is not built on borrowed money. Wealth is built by owning your life, not renting it back from lenders. And every payment you eliminate becomes income you can finally use for yourself. Myth: credit cards are tools. This one is brilliant psychological marketing. Credit cards parade around as helpful, responsible, convenient. But a tool that can destroy your finances with one impulsive moment isn't a tool. It's a trap with glossy branding. Rewards? Points? Cashback? These are crumbs compared to what debt costs you. Credit cards aren't designed to help you win. They're designed to keep you playing. And the house always wins. Myth: student loans are the only way. Millions of young people walk into adulthood with a weight they never fully understood. The world told them education required debt, but that's not truth. It's an industry. Are degrees important? Often, yes. But signing up for decades of payments doesn't magically guarantee success. There are alternatives. Cheaper schools, community colleges, scholarships. Working through school that don't change your future before it even begins. The lie isn't that education matters. The lie is that debt is your only ticket to it. Myth: poor spending is worse than debt. People beat themselves up for buying small things, dinners, clothes, a few unnecessary purchases. But the truth is, small spending isn't the real thief. Debt is. Spending mistakes cost you once. Debt costs you every single month. You can fix spending habits. You can adjust, learn, improve. But debt locks you into a cycle where progress becomes almost impossible. The truth: simplicity wins. Money freedom isn't complicated. It's not a secret formula or a sophisticated strategy. It's the courage to reject the financial myths that culture worships and replace them with timeless principles. Live below your means, avoid debt, save intentionally, and build steadily. Freedom begins the moment you stop chasing society's version of success and choose clarity instead. To break the chains, you must first break the lies. Chapter 4. Discipline over desire. There comes a moment in every financial journey when the truth stops whispering and starts shouting. It's the moment you realize your bank balance isn't a mystery. It's a mirror. It reflects not what you wish you were, but what you repeatedly do. This is where most people stumble. They blame their income, their upbringing, their circumstances, when the real battle is happening much closer to home. The battle is between desire and discipline. One demands comfort now, the other demands growth later. And the one you consistently choose determines your financial destiny. Why smart people stay broke? It's rarely a lack of intelligence that keeps people stuck. Some of the smartest, most talented individuals are drowning in debt and living paycheck to paycheck. Why? Because financial struggle is almost never a knowledge problem. It's a behavior problem. Smart people stay broke when their emotions outperform their logic. They know they shouldn't buy the newest gadget, but they do. They know the credit card balance is dangerous, but they swipe anyway. Desire speaks louder than reason, and without discipline, desire always wins. The habit loop that controls spending. Every spending decision has a pattern, a trigger, a behavior, and a reward. Maybe stress pushes you toward online shopping. Maybe boredom sends you scrolling for deals. Maybe comparison pressures you into buying what you think you should have. This loop repeats itself until it becomes automatic. And automatic habits are dangerous. They drain accounts quietly, slowly, invisibly. The good news? Anything learned can be unlearned. When you expose the loop, you regain control. And when you regain control, you rewrite your financial story. Money success is 80% behavior. People often search for the right investment, the perfect budget, or the smartest strategy. But the truth is simpler. Behavior outweighs knowledge. You can know everything about interest rates, compound growth, or index funds and still stay broke. Why? Because information doesn't create transformation. Action does, and the most powerful actions are not big, dramatic decisions. They're the small, disciplined behaviors repeated daily. The ones that feel boring but build freedom. The ones that delay gratification but multiply wealth. The disciplined decision. Discipline isn't something you're born with. It's something you choose every day. The decision to delay impulse buys. The decision to track your spending. The decision to stop running from your financial reality and start taking ownership of it. Discipline turns chaos into clarity. It replaces emotional spending with intentional living. It transforms money from a source of stress into a tool for freedom. When desire pulls you toward right now, discipline pulls you toward what matters. And your life follows whichever one you obey. You don't need more information. You need new behaviors. And discipline is where those behaviors begin. Chapter 5, Step 1. Build your Freedom Starter Fund. Every financial turnaround begins with one simple moment. The moment you stop waiting for stability and decide to create it. Most people believe they'll feel secure someday when they make more money, when life calms down, or when they finally catch a break. But security doesn't arrive on its own. You build it with your own hands, and the very first brick in that foundation is what I call the Freedom Starter Fund. A small but powerful cushion that keeps life's bumps from knocking you off your path. Why you need a quick buffer. Life does not wait for you to get organized. Tires blow, phones crack, kids get sick, and surprise bills show up at the worst possible times. Without a buffer, even a minor inconvenience can trigger panic, forcing you back into debt, dependence, or bad decisions. A quick buffer doesn't remove problems, but it removes the emergency from the problem. It buys you breathing room, clarity, and control. And when you have control, you avoid the cascade of stress that sabotages financial progress. How small funds prevent big disasters. People often underestimate the impact of a small emergency fund. They think it's too small to matter, too simple to work. But small cushions prevent big catastrophes because they break the chain reaction. Instead of putting a $150 crisis on a credit card and paying for it for months, your Freedom Starter Fund absorbs the hit and lets you stay on track. Instead of spiraling into fees, debt, or payday loans, you stay steady. A small fund can't fix everything, but it protects your most important asset, momentum. Ways to raise money fast, ethical. Simple ideas. Building your starter fund isn't about waiting for the extra money. It's about generating it with intention. Start by selling what you don't use. Old tech, unused exercise equipment, clothes you haven't worn in a year. Declutter your home and convert the excess into opportunity. Then look for quick, ethical income boosters. A weekend of gig work, tutoring, delivering groceries, pet sitting, or offering a skill you already have. You're not raising money for luxury. You're raising money for freedom. And that mindset makes the process energizing instead of exhausting. The psychological power of preparedness. Something shifts the moment you have even a small financial shield. Your shoulders relax. Your decisions improve. You breathe differently because you know you're no longer one accident away from chaos. Preparedness creates confidence, and confidence fuels discipline. When your brain is no longer stuck in survival mode, you think clearer, act wiser, and stay committed to the bigger picture. Your Freedom Starter Fund is more than money. It's emotional stability. Your journey begins with a small but strong financial shield. The Freedom Starter Fund that protects your progress and anchors your new beginning. Chapter 6. Step 2. Destroy debt with the momentum method. Debt is heavy, not just in dollars, but in how it weighs on your mind, your relationships, and your choices. It whispers. You'll never get ahead. It tightens your options. It makes every financial decision feel like a gamble. But here's the truth most people don't realize. Debt doesn't win because of math. It wins because it erodes belief. And the single most powerful weapon against it is momentum. Why motivation beats math? We often try to tackle debt with spreadsheets, calculators, and complex formulas. But numbers alone won't free you. You could create the perfect payoff plan, know exactly how much to pay and when, and still quit halfway because motivation lagged. That's why the momentum method works. It focuses on small wins that build confidence fast. Every victory, no matter how small, becomes fuel for the next one. Motivation comes first. Math comes second. The beauty is this. Each debt you knock out becomes proof that you can win. That proof sparks belief. And belief sparks action. Before long, you're no longer just paying debts. You're defeating them. How momentum changes your mindset. Momentum is psychological. It transforms fear into excitement. Instead of feeling trapped by obligations, you feel the thrill of progress. You stop thinking about all the debts you have and start focusing on the ones you've already beaten. Momentum shifts your perspective. Debt isn't endless. It's conquerable. You learn to celebrate milestones, however small, and those celebrations become addictive in the healthiest way. Step-by-step instructions for the method. 1. List every debt you have, big or small, student loans, credit cards, personal loans, medical bills. Write down the total owed and minimum monthly payment. 2. Order them from smallest to largest. Yes, even if the interest rates differ. Emotional wins matter more than mathematical optimization at this stage. 3. Attack the smallest debt first. Pay as much as possible while keeping minimum payments on all others. 4. Celebrate the win. Acknowledge the victory. It's a psychological boost that reinforces your new habits. 5. Move to the next debt. Roll the previous payment plus your usual debt budget into the next smallest balance. Watch payments snowball, growing bigger and bigger. This method isn't about speed. It's about consistency and belief. What to expect emotionally and practically. At first, you'll feel impatience. Some debts may seem insurmountable, and temptation to revert to old habits will appear, but that's normal. Expect small frustrations and occasional setbacks. They're part of learning discipline. Practically, you'll need to adjust spending, track your budget carefully, and make sacrifices. Emotionally, you'll notice a growing sense of control. Every small victory chips away at anxiety and fear. Success stories and realistic timelines. Thousands of people have used momentum to become debt-free. A person with 5 small debts totaling $6,000 can see their first balance eliminated in weeks, not months. Each eliminated debt reinforces self-trust and builds unstoppable momentum. within a year. Even families with six-figure consumer debt have dramatically reduced their balances and gained life-changing clarity. The exact timeline depends on income and expenses, but the principle remains. Small, consistent wins create belief, and belief fuels consistency. Debt doesn't have to feel like a life sentence. By following the momentum method, you take control, build confidence, and turn your financial chaos into a series of victories that accumulate faster than you ever imagined. Winning early creates belief, and belief fuels consistency. Momentum transforms debt from a crushing weight into a challenge you can systematically defeat, one small victory at a time. Your freedom becomes inevitable. Chapter 7, Step 3. Build the Fortress Fund. Once you've conquered your debts and experienced the thrill of momentum, the next step is building something far more powerful than numbers in a bank account. It's a Fortress Fund, a fully stocked emergency savings reserve designed to protect your life, your progress, and your peace of mind. Think of it as your financial armor, a buffer that turns unexpected crises into manageable challenges rather than life-altering disasters. Why you need a serious safety net? Life is unpredictable. Cars break down, jobs end, medical emergencies happen. Without a proper safety net, even minor setbacks can send you spiraling back into debt, stress, and regret. The Fortress Fund isn't about indulgence. It's about survival and freedom. It gives you the confidence to say, "I'm prepared. I won't panic. I can handle this." When you know you have 3 to 6 months of living expenses set aside, fear no longer dictates your choices. Discipline and strategy do. Calculating your Fortress Fund. Start by totaling your essential monthly expenses, rent or mortgage, utilities, groceries, transportation, insurance, and minimum debt obligations, if any remain. Multiply that number by 3 if you're conservative, or 6 if you want absolute security. That's your target. For example, if your monthly essentials total $2,500, your Fortress Fund should range between $7,500 and $15,000. This may seem intimidating at first, but remember, you don't have to build it overnight. Consistent contributions, no matter how small, compound into real security over time. Where to store it? Your Fortress Fund should be separate from your everyday checking account. It needs to be accessible in an emergency, yet not so easy to touch that temptation wins. High-yield savings accounts, money market accounts, or even a dedicated emergency account at a different bank work well. The key is liquidity and safety. It's not an investment for growth. It's insurance for life. How it protects your mental peace. The real power of a Fortress Fund isn't the money itself. It's the mental freedom it provides. Knowing you can handle life's surprises without borrowing or stressing changes how you think, act, and make decisions. You sleep better. You take calculated risks without fear. You plan for the future instead of reacting to the present. Money stops being a source of anxiety and starts being a tool for stability and opportunity. When your debts are gone and your Fortress Fund is in place, you have the foundation of true financial independence. You're no longer living in survival mode. You're operating from strength, clarity, and control. This is the bedrock upon which lasting wealth, confidence, and freedom are built. A Fortress Fund is more than money. It's peace, security, and resilience. It protects you from panic, fear, and setbacks, giving you the mental and financial freedom to focus on building the life you truly want. Chapter 8, Step 4. Invest with intent. Once your debts are gone and your Fortress Fund is in place, something remarkable happens. Freedom stops being about survival and starts being about growth. This is the stage where your money begins to work as hard as you do. And the tool to make that happen is intentional investing. Investing isn't about luck, timing, or chasing trends. It's about discipline, clarity, and patience. The goal is simple. Take a consistent portion of your income and put it to work in a way that grows over decades. For most people, that means 15% of your gross income. A small slice today that can become a powerful foundation for tomorrow. Why investing comes after safety. It's tempting to jump into investing before you've paid off debt or built a safety net. But doing so is like planting seeds in a storm. Without a fortress fund, emergencies force you to withdraw early. Without financial freedom, the pressure to pay debt or cover unexpected costs derails your growth. Safety comes first. Investing comes second, because peace of mind allows your investments to flourish without stress or panic. Understanding compounding the simple way. Compounding is the quiet engine of wealth. Think of it like a snowball rolling down a hill. It starts small, but grows bigger and faster over time. Money earns returns. Returns earn returns, and decades later, that small disciplined contribution can turn into life-changing wealth. The key is time and consistency, not clever strategies or chasing the next hot stock. Setting up auto-invest systems. The easiest way to stay disciplined is to automate your investments. Set up automatic contributions to retirement accounts, index funds, or other long-term vehicles. When the money moves before it touches your spending account, you avoid temptation and build consistency. Automation turns discipline into habit, and habit turns into wealth, choosing long-term vehicles. Long-term growth is best achieved through tax advantage accounts and simple strategies. 401k, IRAs, Roth IRAs, and broad-based index funds. Forget trying to beat the market. Focus on low-cost, diversified, long-term options that give you steady growth while minimizing stress and fees. Your goal isn't excitement, it's stability, compounding, and peace of mind. Investing isn't about becoming rich overnight. It's about building wealth with intention, patience, and clarity. You've already proven you can conquer debt and build a safety net. Now, your money can grow in ways that multiply your freedom and secure your future. Invest consistently, simply and automatically, and stay patient. Your disciplined action today becomes the financial freedom of tomorrow. Chapter 9. Step 5. Preparing the next generation. Nothing changes your perspective on money like thinking about the next generation. The way you handle finances today will either pass down freedom or chains to your children. And the harsh truth is this: student loans and debt are financial poison that can shadow a young adult's life for decades. Avoiding that trap isn't just smart, it's a gift. Why student debt is financial poison. Every year, millions of students graduate with tens of thousands of dollars in debt. Interest compounds quietly. Stress compounds silently, and opportunities shrink because so much income is tied up in payments. Too often, parents assume loans are unavoidable, believing education must come with a price tag. But debt isn't inevitable. It's a choice, and your choices today can spare your children from carrying that burden. Education accounts explain simply. The simplest solution is to start small. Consistent savings early. Accounts like 529 plans, education savings accounts, or even dedicated high-yield savings can grow over time. It doesn't take a fortune to make a difference. Even modest, regular contributions add up. The power comes from time and consistency, not large deposits. Every contribution builds momentum and shows your children that preparation beats reliance on loans. How to teach kids to value money. Financial lessons begin at home. Involve your children in budgeting, saving, and spending decisions in age-appropriate ways. Give them opportunities to earn and manage money responsibly. When kids see the value of money, the impact of debt, and the freedom that comes from planning, they inherit not just funds, but mindset. They learn that wealth isn't about how much you borrow. It's about how wisely you use what you have. Building their future without borrowing. Start early. Set a small monthly contribution. Teach consistent saving habits and show them the joy of reaching goals without owing anyone. By the time they reach adulthood, they'll enter the world with choices instead of chains. Empowered by a debt-free start, the greatest legacy isn't the money you leave. It's the financial wisdom and freedom you pass on. By preparing the next generation carefully and intentionally, you give them a life of opportunities, not obligations. The greatest gift you can give children is a debt-free start and the lessons, habits, and mindset to carry that freedom forward. Chapter 10, Step 6. Crush the mortgage chain. For most people, the mortgage is more than just a monthly bill. It's a chain that quietly dictates your life. Every month, a portion of your hard-earned money disappears, and with it, opportunities, freedom, and peace of mind. But imagine the day you write that last check. That day isn't just financial, it's psychological. Mortgage freedom changes everything. Why mortgage freedom changes everything? Owning your home outright isn't just about the money saved on interest. It's about choice and peace. Without a mortgage, you're no longer trapped by fear of layoffs, emergencies, or market fluctuations. You can redirect your income to investments, travel, education, or passions. Stress melts away, and flexibility expands. Your home becomes a platform for life, not a tether holding you back. How to accelerate payments? The fastest way to freedom is focused strategy. Make extra payments whenever possible. Even small amounts add up over time. Consider applying bonuses, tax refunds, or side income directly toward the principal. The key is consistency and intention. Each additional payment doesn't just reduce the balance. It reduces the future interest you'll pay, accelerating your journey to complete freedom. Practical strategies without stress. You don't need to live in austerity or cut out all joy to crush your mortgage. Start by tightening areas that make sense without adding pressure. Refinance if rates are lower, round payments up to the nearest 100, and track progress visually. Celebrate milestones. Every $10,000 off your principal is proof you're winning. Treat it like a game, and the seemingly impossible task becomes a series of achievable steps. What life looks like with a paid-off home. Picture the day when your mailbox is free of mortgage statements. Imagine your paycheck going entirely toward savings, investments, or experiences. Imagine the calm in knowing you can weather job loss, medical bills, or emergencies without fear. The home that once felt like a burden now feels like freedom itself. That sense of security is priceless. Owning your home outright transforms more than your finances. It transforms your mindset. It turns stress into confidence, restriction into choice, and long-term fear into long-term opportunity. Crushing the mortgage chain isn't just a step in a plan. It's a life-altering milestone. Owning your home outright is financial liberation. It frees your income, your mind, and your future, allowing you to live intentionally instead of being bound by debt. Chapter 11. Step 7. Rise into abundance. Freedom is not the end. It's the beginning. Once debt is gone, your emergency fund is solid. Your investments are growing, and your home is paid off. A new horizon opens. Abundance. Abundance isn't about luxury or showing off. It's about control, purpose, and the ability to live fully while making a difference. Wealth with purpose. True wealth isn't measured by dollars alone. It's measured by the choices those dollars create. With financial freedom, you can pursue opportunities that matter. Invest in your passions, support your family, and secure your future. Your money becomes a tool, not a source of stress. Every dollar starts working with intention, building a life aligned with your values. Giving as a lifestyle. One of the most powerful shifts happens when you move from accumulation to generosity. Giving isn't just a gesture. It's a lifestyle. Whether you support a cause, mentor someone financially, or contribute to your community, giving turns money into impact. It multiplies joy, strengthens relationships, and reinforces the mindset that wealth is about influence, not just comfort. Legacy planning basics. Abundance also means thinking long-term. Your wealth can create lasting change for your family and community. Start with simple steps. Write a will. Set up trusts or education funds, and clarify the values you want to pass on. Legacy isn't just about money. It's about shaping lives, empowering others, and ensuring that your freedom extends beyond your own lifetime. Living without fear. Financial abundance frees you from fear. Job loss, emergencies, and unexpected life events no longer threaten your peace. You operate from confidence, not anxiety. Decisions are made intentionally, guided by vision instead of survival. You sleep better, plan bigger, and act bolder because your foundation is secure. When you rise into abundance, your life becomes both a reward and a responsibility. You have the power to live fully, impact others, and create a legacy that lasts. Money is no longer the chains that hold you back. It's the wings that let you soar. True wealth is not just what you keep. It's the power to change your life and the lives of others. Abundance is freedom, generosity, and impact combined, the ultimate reward of mastering your money. Chapter 12. A life rebuilt from the ground up. Take a moment and look back. Think about where you started. The debt, the stress, the uncertainty. Then think about where you are now. In control, confident, and moving forward with purpose. This journey wasn't about luck, inheritance, or being a financial genius. It was about decisions, discipline, and commitment. Every small step, every payment, every choice you made has added up to transformation. The journey you've completed, from building your Freedom Starter Fund to crushing debt, creating a fortress fund, investing intentionally, preparing the next generation, and achieving mortgage freedom. You followed a proven path. These steps weren't just financial exercises. They were life lessons. Each action rewired your habits, reshaped your mindset, and rewrote your story. What once seemed impossible is now part of your reality. The identity shift. You are now in control. The most profound change isn't in the numbers. It's in who you've become. You are no longer a passive observer of your finances, reacting to life's chaos. You are deliberate, strategic, and empowered. This identity shift is permanent because it's rooted in action, not aspiration. You are the person who controls money, not the one controlled by it. Staying consistent for life. The secret to sustaining freedom is consistency. Continue applying the habits you've built. Even when life feels stable, the power isn't in huge leaps. It's in daily, intentional choices. Track your spending. Save with purpose, invest with patience, and give generously. Life will throw challenges, but your foundation is unshakable. Your new relationship with money. Money is no longer a source of fear or stress. It is a tool for freedom, opportunity, and impact. You've transformed your relationship with it from reactive to proactive, from scarcity to abundance. You now make decisions based on vision, not panic, and your future is no longer dictated by circumstance. You didn't just change your finances. You changed your future. Your life is rebuilt from the ground up, brick by brick, habit by habit, choice by choice. Freedom isn't just a goal you've reached. It's a reality you now live. Every single day, you have broken the chains, reclaimed control, and rebuilt your life. Your financial transformation is a lasting victory, a foundation for a lifetime of freedom, abundance, And purpose. Conclusion. Your freedom starts today. You've made it. You've walked the path from debt, confusion, and fear to clarity, control, and opportunity. But this isn't the end. It's the beginning. The lessons, strategies, and habits you've learned are not just tools. They are the foundation of a life you design, not a life dictated by circumstance. The truth is simple. Financial freedom is available to anyone. It doesn't matter your age, your income, or your past mistakes. What matters is your commitment to act consistently and intentionally. Every small decision you make builds momentum. Every choice to save, to invest, to pay off debt, to teach your children, or to live intentionally adds another brick to the life you've imagined. This book was not about quick fixes or shortcuts. It was about breaking the chains that hold people back. Each step, building your Freedom Starter Fund, crushing debt with the Momentum Method, creating a Fortress Fund, investing with intent, preparing the next generation, achieving mortgage freedom, and rising into abundance is a practical, proven move toward lasting change. These aren't theory. They are actionable steps that transform your finances and your mindset. Remember, the journey is just as important as the destination. Your relationship with money has shifted from fear and scarcity to clarity, confidence, and control. You now understand that true wealth is not just what you earn or save. It's the freedom to live intentionally, to make choices without fear, and to impact the lives of others through generosity and purpose. The most powerful realization is this: you don't have to wait for the perfect moment. Freedom is built in the daily decisions you make. You can start today. One payment, one investment, one small habit at a time. Momentum will follow, and your life will transform faster than you expect. Your financial makeover is more than numbers on a page. It's a mindset, a lifestyle, and a commitment to a future you control. You've broken the chains, you've reclaimed your power, and now your journey is your own, filled with opportunity, abundance, and the confidence to live life on your terms. Financial freedom is not a dream. It's a series of deliberate choices. Start now, stay consistent, and embrace the life you were meant to live. Your chains are broken, and your future is yours. Thanks for joining us in Read Realm, where every book finds a voice. If you enjoyed this audiobook, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and hit the bell so you never miss a new upload. Got a book in mind? Drop it in the comments. You're next. Favorite listen could be our next upload. Until then, keep your mind open and your headphones on.